Hi folks. So if you're a fan of electronic books, you've probably noticed your recommended feed on YouTube being scattered with lots of people talking about the latest move from Amazon, which is to disallow the downloading of any of the books that you've bought. Now we all know as Kindle users that it's a very easy way to get your books. Once you buy them, as long as the Wi-Fi is turned on your Kindle, they just auto-download, which is fantastic. But we've always had the ability to download the books, and even though they're DRM protected, so that you can't move them to other platforms, it is very easy to strip the DRM off them. Which is good because I have ebooks that I've got from other places than Amazon, and I can now put them all in one big library in software called Calibre. It's just nice and elegant. It's there. It doesn't tie you to the Amazon platform. Ethically, what matters is you bought the books, right? Legally, it may be a gray area, but ethically, money changed hands. The authors were paid. You bought the books, okay? So why would Amazon suddenly disallow the downloading of their books? So I can only speculate as to their motive. So let's do that. I don't think they're naive, put it that way. The kindest thing I could think is, oh, maybe they thought nobody's actually using that feature anymore, so we'll just get rid of it. I don't think so. I actually think Amazon are feeling the heat of the competition, because in recent months, or maybe even the last couple of years maybe, there's a whole bunch of other e-readers that have come out that I think is good competition against the Amazon Kindle. This is my Kindle here. I had it for it must be about 7 or 8 years now. It's a beat up old thing. It's been dropped a number of times. It's very resilient. It's working just as well as it worked from day one, except maybe the battery's not quite as efficient as it was, but it's still a perfectly serviceable product. I've often thought of buying another e-reader, but I can't really justify it because this one's working perfectly. Do I really need the warm light feature? Not really. The light on this is perfectly adequate. It's my second Kindle. But let's say this Kindle broke and I was faced with wanting to buy a new e-reader. Would it be a Kindle? And I have to say, probably not. Because I've been really fascinated by some of the others on the market, particularly the ones being brought out by the company Books, B-O-O-X. There's the Books Palma, which is a mobile phone sized e-reader, which might be interesting to read on like that and slip it in your pocket very easily. So essentially a mobile phone, unfortunately without the cellular network. That would have been a great feature because you could have done away with an actual smartphone and just had a smartphone with e-ink, which fascinates me. I think that would be really nice. But it doesn't have that feature, but it's a nice, interesting e-reader. It's one I would have considered buying had my Kindle broke. I also like the Books Go 10.3, I think it's called, which is a really large screen that is not backlit, or sorry, not front lit. It's actually a front light on all of these things. It kind of looks like a backlight, but it's a front light. My first Kindle did not have the front light, and it seems to me that it had a really nice, brighter display than the kind of dull grey that you get when the light is off. So that's with the light off. If I flick it on here, it'll suddenly get brighter because I'm using the backlight. We see. So backlight's on now, you see that? So it kind of just goes dull grey. It's easier to see in real life maybe. But the original Kindle, which didn't have a light, had a much brighter surface, it seemed to me. So part of me always thought that the light was a step backwards, even though it's nice to read it in bed at night without having the light on in your room. I felt it was kind of a step backwards because it's less like paper. And what's the perfect e-reader? The perfect e-reader is one that looks as much like paper as possible. So that would be a large format e-reader comparable to the size of a trade paperback without a light, and a nice hopefully reasonably white screen rather than dull grey. See, I think the greyness is caused because of the layer that lets the light work. So if you didn't have that, you'd have a brighter display. I think so anyway. I would be fascinated to see the Books 10.3 with its screen that's larger than 10 inches, something like a full-size iPad. No light and just a real paper-like experience, plus the ability to draw on it, which is kind of interesting. So would I buy a Kindle if my Kindle broke? Probably not. I'd be buying a different e-reader. And we know that Amazon kind of dropped the ball with the color e-reader that they brought out. There was a whole bunch of color readers coming out by other people. There was Kobo. There was, what else? I forget the name of the company. Big Me brought one out. But there was no sign of color from Amazon, so that everyone thought maybe they're planning something really special. But they brought out the Kindle Color Soft finally, and then people started complaining that there was a curious yellow tinge at the bottom of the screen, and Amazon had to cope with lots of returns. I don't know if that matter has actually been solved yet. So they seem to have kind of dropped the ball in the race towards color for e-readers. And now they've done this move with the Kindle where they don't allow downloads anymore. It seems to me, I mean, they can't have just suddenly believed that all of their user base, or a lot of their user base, are just going to suddenly become pirates, or they're going to buy books just so that they can upload them to piracy sites. Doesn't make any sense, does it? So why do this? Why get rid of the ability to download your books? It has to be because they don't want their users jumping ship to another company's e-reader platform, such as Books or Kobo or one of the others. Right? They want to keep them within the Amazon Kindle, what's the word I'm looking for? The Amazon Kindle sphere, if you know what I mean. Right? You're locked in there forever then, unless you kind of know a way around it. Yeah. But downloading the books and stripping off the DRM, it just gave the people who were supporting Amazon or supporting the Amazon store, it gave us the freedom to buy whatever e-reader we wanted to buy. Just like if you download MP3 files, you're not locked into a particular brand of MP3 player. I'm speaking like I'm in the past here. Everybody listens to music now on their phones. I'm still old school. I have a tiny little MP3 player. So you can download music, this is really weird. You can download DRM-free music from Amazon, and you can do whatever you like with it. So why do this to books? Have they learned no lesson from the past? Music used to have DRM on it, but it doesn't anymore. You can't actually put DRM on the MP3 format. It's not a facility of MP3. I think it is on music formats like AAC, that's the Apple audio codec, and WMA, which is the Windows codec. Possibly one of the reasons they were developed was so that they could put DRM on things. But no DRM on MP3s anywhere. And MP3s are now commonly sold on Amazon and on other retailers digitally. Why not the same with books? I hope it happens one of these days. But this is a really dumb move from Amazon. So instead of keeping their customers happy by being the best and not making stupid mistakes, they have actually decided to punish their customers, their supporters, by denying them the right to read their electronic books wherever they want to read them, on whatever device they want to read them. So who knows how this will play out. Maybe there'll be enough customer backlash and they'll retract this, but at the minute, on the 26th of February, you can no longer download the books that you bought from Amazon. You are locked into the Kindle platform permanently. We'll see what happens with that. Okay folks, bye-bye for now.